Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadiel, Kabiro. Glad that you've joined us for today's political conversation. A conversation that is always simple, truthful and biased. Prof puts it as hard-hitting. How are you doing today, sir?
Wonderful.
Just wonderful?
Wonderful, yes.
Okay, today's conversation is a very interesting conversation. It's a conversation on coalition. Both sides continuous headache in Azimio's side. Raphael Tuju today, the Secretary General of the Azimio coalition, just said that we shouldn't take it too seriously. They're going to deal with it. But let's start with Kenya Kwanza. Right now, ANC party leader said it's a coalition of parties and not a coalition party. What will this mean with the Deputy President going to the ballot as UDA and not Kenya Kwanza?
It will just be UDA with a UDA running mate. First of all, the most important message is that Mudavadi, not Muturi can be running mate to Ruto.
Oh.
It has to be from UDA. My understanding of the law. Yeah.
So what will this mean for the coalition then?
Well, they will be trying to beat a UDA horse. And that will be quite something. They will say Kenya Kwanza in the rallies, but on the paper, it will be UDA.
You know, just today, 8 parties joined the coalition. Does this mean that there can be some short-changing if they do not come up with a coalition party and still remain with the coalition of parties moving forward?
You know, a coalition party, and that is the sense of this law, this new law, is more compact. You know?
Yeah.
It's more foolproof if you wish.
Yeah.
More not as prone to abuse as this one of coalition of parties. Yeah, it is tight.
Okay.
Yeah. You create beacons, you know, structures, and within the structures, you can then relate much more friendly.
Then what is the advantage then of Musalia coming out and saying we are going as a coalition of parties and not a coalition party? What is the advantage of them still remaining with their own parties and having this coalition?
Basically, I don't see any advantage. You cannot quickly pluck out disadvantages.
Oh.
Like you cannot have a running mate from another party. The way I see it, the way I understand the law. Nobody has said it, but my reading of the law, that's the way it should be.
Okay.
Secondly, it cannot be an advantage because the main advantage would have been parties will have their own existence, especially in terms of fielding parties. But they're already negotiating.
Okay.
Boni Khalwale, Malala, Sakaja. So they're already negotiating. So you cannot say that is an advantage of having coalition of parties.
Oh.
It is just one way of kicking the can down the road. They are delaying facing the reality.
Which is the reality?
The reality is that UDA was already a formed party. They are just fellows eating from the outside.
Okay.
They cannot enter the room, leave alone sit on the table.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So what's future do you see for parties like ANC, Ford Kenya, within the Kenya Kwanza coalition if they take presidency? What future do you see for them?
I see nothing. UDA will have formed government. They will just be peripheral. You know, Azimio now, you can boast, I'm in Azimio. Azimio has taken government. But after UDA wins, how do you... The word Kenya Kwanza will disappear before Ruto is sworn in.
Huh?
Yeah, of course. It's the UDA government which has won. It's Ruto, it's UDA. On the ballot paper, there was UDA.
So your advice to them is they should come up with a coalition party?
Even in terms of sharing of political parties' funds. And you'll have to squeeze the law to make it a provision in the law or in a coalition agreement for you to force monies to be political parties' monies to be shared.
Okay.
But within the new coalition political parties like Azimio, it is spelled out very clearly. It's much easier. It's neat. It's not clumsy.
But when you look at the situation currently right now, the neatness is being seen in Kenya Kwanza and not Azimio. Things seem to be...
I'm talking about a coalition of parties like Kenya Kwanza and a coalition party like Azimio.
Okay.
It is neat, it is smart. You are confusing the two. What you are alluding to is Ruto's moves are smart. Smarter than the other side. Okay. He's managed his issues in a smarter way than Azimio. I mean, Azimio has not yet moved. We are hoping if they move, they will be either smarter as Ruto or smarter. Okay. I'm talking of smart, I'm seeing Wanjiro and Sakaja. Okay. I'm talking of smart, I'm seeing Khalwale and
Malala.
I'm talking smart, I'm seeing Narok. Okay. The moves have been smart. So we hope ODM will do the same or better.
What came to mind when you heard the news that there's this letter that has been written by One Kenya Alliance, part of them, to the Registrar of Political Parties, yet to be received by the Registrar, but the letter is all about the amendments that were made and not the agreements that they had?
I thought it was just a joke.
Oh.
First of all, the deadline was 9th.
Yeah.
So if you pull out that, assuming there's a provision for pulling out, can you return it back? And you must have signed the document. And my understanding is that legal documents of this nature, you initial every page.
Yeah.
So you cannot say somebody has sneaked in a page. And if somebody has sneaked in a new page with new provisions, then that is fraud. That's a criminal case.
Okay.
It's not a question of withdrawing and relaunching, because the time for relaunching deadline was on 9th.
Yeah.
So you can only say there's criminal culpability here. Let's look for the criminal who altered the documents filed with the registrar.
Oh.
Because the way they are saying is just childish.
So it's either childish or it's a big thing that should be dealt with.
It could be either some illegality has been committed, and that those are matters that must be investigated by DCI. Is crime. But otherwise, it is just childish games.
Some of the issues that they raised was, one, the increment of caucuses within the Azimio One Kenya Alliance.
Yes.
They said they had agreed that there will be 3 caucuses with One Kenya, President Uhuru, Raila.
But that's a small matter. That's why I say, and I blame all these political leaders in this country. When intelligent men and women are seated down, that's not an issue. Whatever you would get if you are 7 or 3-legged, you can still get if men and women sit down to crack the deal. Bring me there. Give me what you want. Let's see what do they want. We will craft something for them.
Oh.
We have this tendency to be lazy in this country.
When you look at someone like Mutula Kilonzo, Senator Makueni, coming out and saying someone like the governor for Machakos, Alfred Mutua, has not yet reached the level of having one leg in this stool. He's not yet.
Also, you see, now those are the childish things you're talking about. You see, where I come from, we say when cows are grazing, one cow can't finish for others. They both bite something down. So it's like, so if so and so is there, then me I will not eat. You can see the kind of childish games I'm talking about.
Is it a question of power?
We want more. The more, the merrier. UDS today has received, Kenya Kwanza received how many? 8.
8 parties.
The more, the merrier. For Azimio, more should even come in. What's the problem?
What do you think of this other side looking as if it's a power play within the Ukambani section? Alfred Mutua coming out trying to outstand Kalonzo Musyoka. Is this power play going to work in this 2022 presidential election?
Let me tell you something. This is normal. In another 1 month, these things will be behind us. You will not even remember these things, people. These are normal things, normal reactions, pain. You know, realization that, well, kumbe so and so can also be given a chair to sit. And the normal human reaction to things that are ugly. You know, ugly situations are met with different reactions. We are prepared to deal with adversities in different ways. So give this thing 1 month, mid-May, you will never remember these things were on the ground.
Are we going to be able to also solve the issue of the deputy president's position within Azimio la Umoja? Because this is also another headache for Raila Odinga. Jubilee saying
it's a difficult matter. It's a difficult matter. It's not easy.
We'll have to wait and see.
No, I was even talking to Raila today. We met somewhere lunch, and I told him, my friend, I can't even ask you who is your deputy. Anybody trying to force you to make them deputy, do not realize the gravity of this matter. It is so serious for Raila deciding who is running mate, who is deputy. It's not a small matter. It's a complex issue. Even to ask him, anybody who asks him, even if they are close to them, I told him, even if I had been close to, I wouldn't ask you. And so Kalonzo should understand, this is not a small matter. You cannot reduce this matter to the number of votes you are bringing.
Okay.
That, oh, Mount Kenya cannot give you as many votes as the 2 million Kambas can give. No, it's not numbers alone. There are many issues. This is a serious power play. Yeah, it's a big game.
How did Baba
There is a grand plan, of course. Baba can't. I'm a
how
small
did he
man.
see? How did he see?
He can continue eating and just laugh. He can't reply to me because I'm a small man.
Lastly, let me ask you this. When you look at all this chaos being brought to the public light, even the letter hadn't reached the registrar,
Yes,
before,
yes.
before we saw it.
That's
the press
that
conferences
tells you.
that are coming in.
That's why I'm saying these are childish games. You do some childish letter somewhere, then you leak it to the place to threaten people. Let me ask you, does Raila look like somebody you can threaten?
You saw him, I didn't. Does he look like... Huh?
Even Ruto. You can't threaten Ruto. You are Mudavadi, you want to... You can tell you go away, take a walk. To reach where Ruto and Raila have reached, you can't threaten them. They are beyond that. They can tell you take a walk.
So they have to deal with
You
this.
think if Raila didn't become president, he'll commit suicide? He has seen it all. He can just walk home. Say, I wanted to help Kenyans. If they find it's not necessary, let me go home.
Let's find the conversation there. I hope all this will be solved and we'll be able to have formidable coalitions for this year's election so that, as I usually say, we can be able to progress towards this year's presidential elections. Until we do have these conversations again, thank you so much. I hope you say hi to Baba next time you meet him.
It's not easy you meet Baba. I just bumped into him at Serena.
Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.